Hi, what's up, guys? This podcast is sponsored by Yak Attack, yakattack.us. And Yak Attack is the leader in the kayak fishing industry, specializing in kayak fishing rigging solutions. As kayak anglers themselves, they are tightly integrated into the kayak fishing community, and they are acutely aware of what this sport needs. It all starts with the gear track or the body mount. And the gear track comes in all different sizes that mounts directly to your kayak. They have a back plate on it too, so it's really secure, especially the larger ones. And that comes in all different sizes and colors and materials. And the screw ball that attaches to that is how everything comes together with Yak Attack gear. It all starts with that gear track, and everything screws onto that with that screw ball and mounts to that. And everything is including a variety of rod holders, camera mounts for still cameras and GoPros, and light poles with the day flags that folds into the flag as a carrying case. Fish finder mounts and for the batteries and the fish finders themselves. The black pack crate system and the white pack that goes with that in case you're living in the really south heat. All this stuff is made in the USA. This month we are focusing on the panfish portrait and the dog bone combo. If you look on the website right now, the report I put up this week, the first day, most of those, actually all those shots on this first day, I took with the panfish portrait dog bone combo. And then Lee got there on the second day, and Lee took some pictures of that one. And this is great. You screw the ball right into your camera mount, and it helps if your camera mount works. Mine broke again, and I had to use my pad, my old fashioned pad.
Yeah, but you break it.
It's
It's not.
Yeah, that's not part of it. That's the cheap ass camera that I bought with plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing's plastic.
Yeah. It's not the Yak Attack thing that's breaking.
I thought it was like ceramic or something tough when I bought it. It was white, and I looked at it. I was like, okay, Then I was like, wow, that's plastic.
Cheap plastic.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, how you gonna? It's a sport camera.
Yeah, you would.
It's meant to be mounted. Anyway, when you got this stuff that works, then you can screw into the screw ball. The panfish portrait, it screws in, and then you have a complete extension. All these parts you can use together for a 19-inch tall camera mount system, and it's separate as two different camera mounts. The pivoting head and adjustable friction discs of the friction discs of the panfish portrait.
That's
Trying
right.
to say that. Gives the horizontal panning, and the dog bone fully articulates for maximum flexibility. To help you get that perfect shot over the shoulder, in front of you, or even angled under the water like the Rob Choi shot. That's right. So it is, and that is if you're serious about taking pictures, and you happen to be out there by yourself, or even if your guys are really far away and it's not that big of a fish and you just want to get a shot of it anyway. This something is you don't have to have your other guy come up and do the whole thing. So if you're really serious about camera mounts and taking pictures, you should get this the panfish portrait and the dogfish combo by Yak Attack. And this is all at yakattack.us. Alrighty.
I'm on the inside.
Sit down.
Right.
Front and center.
Oh, the fan's on. Let me get that before you sit down.
Yep.
It's podcast number 31. It's September 21st, 2014, and we got Rob Choi from anglingaddict.com, and we got Lee. And we've all fished this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Bunch.
fall, man. It's fucking fall now. So
I
it
fished
is-
a
it
bunch
is-
this week. Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. It's fall. Everything's happening.
Really wish I fished earlier this week,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
Yeah, and because next week does not look good
No, it
either.
looks
It's
terrible.
just.
We haven't. Is it? I looked at the forecast and looked northeast for days, and I was like, "What are we having? A hurricane coming in or something? Some of those days gonna blow 20 and shit."
Yeah.
And it's just and then I look at weather channels. I guess it's a low. It's a nor'easter.
Yeah.
We're having basically a nor'easter, a fall nor'easter.
And we've had these two hurricanes go way offshore of us, and that's in the past few weeks, and that's
Made everything wacky.
yeah. The surfers are having fun, especially I guess this afternoon.
Yeah,
I
I
know
saw-
wind
I
turned
saw-
around this afternoon. I bet it
I
was.
saw a
in-
bunch of them out there, dude.
Did you go out into the mouth? You went to Rudy today.
First I went. Oh, did you guys?
No, yeah.
I'll
We're
start
gonna end
off.
with our two
All right.
stories. You got a big
You guys
story,
have
and I
way
got
more
the
fun
day.
stories.
So we're gonna end
Mine,
with ours.
lately it's been kind of rough for me. I mean, dealing with shit at home and work and
you live in
know,
Richmond.
and I
You
live
live
in
100 miles
Richmond,
away
and
from this
I mean,
area.
I'm married. I got 2 kids. I just can't hang like I used to.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been messaging, not a lot, but occasionally people say, "Hey, man, everything cool?" Like you're not posting at all anymore. It's like I just didn't have time, man, and I have a lot of other things I'm taking
But
care
dude,
of.
you've been going freshwater fishing when you get out in the afternoons and shit.
Every
And you've
once
been
in a
posting
while.
that. You catch
Every once-
catfish. And,
Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so today, I meet Rick Burnley at Chicks Beach.
Well, first we were planning.
We were planning on
We were
going.
planning on hitting the bridge today,
Yeah,
going for the reds.
I mean, yesterday afternoon, the forecast looked all right, and overnight it just.
Well, what was it? Friday? I was talking to you.
Yeah,
Friday
we
or
were
Saturday.
gung-ho, man.
It was calm.
It looked awesome.
Today. It was supposed to be calm today, and then as the days, towards the end of that day,
and then the more into Saturday it got, the forecast just get worse and worse, and so obviously you didn't show because you knew better.
stayed at work. I'm working on the trailer, and
I'm stubborn. I want to go check.
you were
it out.
you were already here,
and I'm here.
You had made plans.
And here's the thing. I have made 3 other trips down here to go for sheep's head, just because it's one of those on the list I always want to get, just cross it off for the year.
As a yearly
I still
catch.
haven't gotten it, and every time I've gone out, it says it's going to be 10, a little over 10 or whatever. I get to the beach and it's blowing, like a lot more than that, and I go anyway because I'm stubborn, and I get to my spot
Well,
and
you're
I'm
already
sloshed.
It's not. See, there's a thing. It's not that you're stubborn. You make plans and you have to travel and
I'm already. It's like I travel all the way down here, and it's like
Yeah.
I gotta try.
Yeah.
And there have been times where like sometimes I've gone out to the island when I really shouldn't have.
yeah.
And
That's why I was,
but the thing
today
is-
I was I text you. I was like, you didn't go out there, did you?
Yeah, I saw
there was
it
a
actually.
chance you could have.
Yeah.
There was a chance you would have. And I was
I
like,
would've,
oh, fuck.
yeah.
I really hope you didn't.
I hope I'm
when the
glad
wind
I-
really started kicking this
I'm glad
morning.
I didn't. Yeah. And some of those days it turned out really awesome. Like
Yeah.
I caught a ton of fish on sometimes.
Well, that was the thing. Also, this afternoon, the winds were supposed to
there
die.
was supposed to be a window there.
A
Yeah.
drop, but I knew you didn't have the time, so I
Yeah.
knew,
Yeah.
I figured we could do a podcast right in the afternoon, and but it's still the winds are starting to pick up already,
Yeah.
so it would have been
It's
shitty.
switched
Yeah.
out of the south, but it's like gonna blow 20 plus.
Yeah.
Apparently, so it's
Again,
yeah.
so you're down here to your target trying to catch sheep.
Sheep's head, and then
And
well,
got the
I
reds,
know
we
the
got-
reds are
yeah.
there too, and tog season just
Yeah.
opened up, so I bought some crabs and brought my live line gear and my big jig rod, and I was thoroughly intent on going, but I got to the beach, man, and it's like it's one of those.
Oh, you
like,
went to the beach.
I wanted to go look at it. I wanted to look at it, to see, like, to judge when I actually see it, and I stood up and it's, that Michael Jackson, like your shirt's just like stuck to you, and it's like a flag down here.
Yeah.
So it was great. And Berlin did exactly the same thing. He got there, and he gets out of the car, and it's one of those, I can't walk forward because of the wind, and we both just stood there and just like, we're not even gonna launch. So.
Was he off today? Rick was off today.
Yeah, I guess.
Sunday.
It is Sunday.
He messaged me
Fucked me
yesterday.
up, man. It was. I was halfway paddling out here. I was like, wow, there's people out there. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
And hardly ever go on Sundays, but sometimes you have to when there's northeast winds the rest of the week.
Yeah. Gotta get out.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all. So no
So
go.
he decided to just go home, and it's like, I'm already here. My parents are watching the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I got this pass. I need to take advantage, do something. But the way the wind was, I mean, there's so few places I can do anything. I didn't bring any trout rods, no light gear. All my stuff was like bottom fishing or big live line release reel and my jigging rod. So
To nothing like
I was
backwater.
yeah, I couldn't. Yeah.
Then you went to
And-
Ruby.
Yeah.
What did you?
I still had fish bites. I figured.
Oh yeah.
Switch. So I.
Oh, well, you started in
I started. It's
Lynnhaven
a
area.
back inside of Lynnhaven. There's a bridge that's in the backwater there, and
spot fishing. That's what I
yeah,
texted him this
I did
morning.
spot
He was
fish,
like,
yeah.
spot fish. I was like, any good? He was like, a few. And so I was like, I'm staying here working.
yeah, it wasn't. If it was on fire.
Yeah, I tried here too.
We got some good ones the other day.
Here
For live bait.
Yeah, I tried here too, but
Yeah.
it was
Heater size.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
My
I got
bid
a heater
was
size.
10.5 today. It was a nice
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
that's fillet size.
Yeah.
That's keeper. That's what I would call keeper for me. I would
Yeah,
I
right.
keep 10
Right.
inches. That's fillet size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So you started there.
And the fun thing is, I did have my little mini rod.
Oh, yeah.
For bait. So I mean, when you get a spot fight hard, man, for their size, it was surprising, and so
Different from Kroger, and you know to fight when.
Oh
you
yeah, it's there. Yeah. and there's a crap ton of sea bass, of course. And then after a while, the bite dropped off, and back in that bridge, there's also I've caught tog back there before too.
Yeah.
So I took my tog rod and
Any size in there?
nothing big. I mean,
Right.
probably 15, 16 inches
Yeah.
or stuff
Our
like that.
keepers are 16 now.
Yeah.
This year
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Yeah.
And, so then I just decided I got off the water, got a bite to eat, and still had time. So
Yeah.
decided to go check out Rudy.
Yeah, that's when I texted you. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah,
What are
what
we gonna
time?
get?
What exactly? What time do you
What
have
do
to
you
be
wanna do?
in? Because I saw the wind was dropping. I was like, are we gonna shoot for the bridge or yeah? Yeah. And then you say you're gonna. All right, I'll go ahead.
I was
back
like,
here.
yeah, I just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that?
Just a couple smaller spot, itty bitty stuff. I saw some kayakers catch sheep's head, small sheep's head.
Yeah.
It's cool. I met this guy. His name is Steve-O. He says he's been messaging you on and off, and it's always fun when I meet people that don't know me, and the way they talk to me is always it's just interesting to me, and I don't like having like a big ego. I don't go out and be like, hey, my name is Rob Choi. It's just, but it's interesting when they talk about you and they're like, sorry, like he's doing this and that, and it's like I'm like, yep,
Dude,
I know you like it.
Working at the tackle shop was the craziest shit ever because guys would come in and talk about me, like stories
And-
about me,
and
there's
and
no
also-
clue that I am
there.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
The TV screen, the stories with the movie playing right next to you, the movie trailers playing right next to you,
yeah.
and people talking shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
You can't make the connection. I mean, it's like,
Well, granted, I look a lot different from I had short hair and all the
This
in all,
is
this,
true, yeah,
in all the
so,
movies. 20 pounds heavier in most of those, so my face is a little bit different, and totally got short hair in
and
there.
probably thinking you're taller.
Yeah. It's on TV
all the
Fuck.
time.
It's the TV thing, dude. It's
You're at
TV
least
thing,
6 foot
totally
tall on
expected.
TV.
Yeah.
You too, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
at least 6 foot tall on TV.
I
I'm not tall at all.
I probably told the story a bunch of times. The first time I met them, I'm like, I'm Asian. I'm supposed to be this strong. This is
Right.
weird.
You're fucking Korean though. That's a whole different story. It's a whole different. The Koreans are super tall. I was watching the fights the other night, and they were in Japan with a Korean guy.
Yeah.
Tall as shit.
The new generation, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's.
But yeah, that shit's funny.
It is
I've
funny,
had
and-
we let this guy go for like 5-10 minutes talking about I was over here, this is when we were catching reds in the fall, and I was on the eastern shore, and he saw me over there catching. I caught 7 that day. Kevin caught 7 reds, and I saw him right there doing it. And I was like, and the other Kevin was sitting there, and he was just going. I said, "Don't say anything.
Yeah,
Keep
just
it
let
going."
it go.
Damn. And yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing, and I was just like one of them. It's all the time. Yeah.
Well, Steve will sound like a cool guy though. So I mean, he says he checks this show out all the time.
Nice.
So yeah,
Cool.
I told him we'd be on here tonight. So hopefully
Yeah.
he's watching.
So that was that.
And that was it.
Did you go out to?
I go out to the mountain. Dude, the waves were big.
Yeah.
Man. It was calmer out there, but like close to the rocks and the jetty, and the surfers were having a great time. Dude.
Was it was a west
It was
wind?
supposed to turn out of the west, man, and we
Yeah.
had a 4. The news this morning said something like 4.7 foot swell coming in on the beach. As soon as the wind turns around, it's going to knock some of that down instantly. I mean, because that wind swell and wind swell dies fast as hell
Yeah.
anyway. But I mean, it's not like a ground swell coming from there's nothing. I mean, there's a storm offshore, but that went by several days ago.
Yeah.
This is all the wind, so it probably knocked it down to 3.5 foot or 3 foot. But I mean, that's still
surfing.
I had a waste time. You guys are having a great
Yeah, we're
time.
having
You know what I mean?
awesome
Maybe
time.
bigger than that. I don't know. Depending on how big it builds up to. It's supposed to be.
My surfer friend-
distinct sets you can time. I mean, I was by the jetty and I can time it like super easy. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, here we go.
It was-
The cool part. I mean, I was doing one of those like mountain.
Shoulder.
It was supposed to be
Yeah,
8.9. It was supposed to be like 8.9 down in Hatteras by the end of by the time the wind switched around and the swell was. Its peak was supposed to get like 9 foot down there, basically. So they're surfing overhead swells down there
yeah.
up until dark. You know, up until right now,
Yeah.
they're surfing overhead swells down there.
Yeah.
Hollow barrels too. You know,
Yeah.
the way if the wind came out west, like it was
Cleaned out.
and south too, especially down there. The northern Outer Banks, the wind blows south,
Yep.
cleans it up.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to shift around today, and then it's supposed to calm down tomorrow afternoon. So I got to wait up tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
Jealous.
What are you doing tomorrow afternoon?
I thought I was supposed to have something, but I mean, I can go to drum fishing instead.
If I live down here, that's what I would say.
I mean, it's the only window
Instead.
for the rest of the week.
Well, and it was so funny because that'll bring us like my story of the week started. I guess I fished with you on Tuesday and Monday. They asked me to work overtime after work for to put some stuff together, get ready for the project we had for the next day. So because it was going to take
Yeah, and that was how I was.
and we didn't know how long it was going to take the next day. Moving the giant stuff we moved, man, because it was a derailment we had to clean up. Literally, the car was sitting in the parking lot. We had 2 cranes, one on each side. I mean, it'd be awesome if I could video this stuff and put it out, but I'm not allowed to have my phone out near the tracks and everything.
And you wouldn't have to high speed that shit anyway, because this is slow and.
Oh yeah, it would take a lot of editing,
cool.
but I mean, literally, so what happened is the cars miscoupled and they wrecked real bad near a switch point. One of the cars they set back on the truck.
Noise from that shit.
Oh
All
god,
that
dude,
steel
it's so
at
loud.
70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour.
No,
Where's
it's 30 miles an hour, so 25.
Oh, they're in
the
not
yard. Yeah.
The
This is in the
the
yard.
amount of energy transfer.
Empty cars too in the yard, so you got yeah. The full ones hit together, man. It's solid.
Right.
Those empty ones, it's just echoes and rings. I mean, everybody hears it all over the place. It probably wakes people up in the neighborhood all the time.
Oh, bet.
And trains derail all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we have derailments in the yard all the time. Every railroad, everywhere. The cars derail all the time in the yard. I mean, moving them around, and these train yards have been there a long time.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It's crazy.
they hit each other real weird, and anyway, one of them was sitting in the parking lot on the bottom of the car, no trucks underneath of it. So what we did was the afternoon before was put 2 sets of trucks together, set them in the parking lot. We came back the next day, set the trucks on the rail, or set the car over top, took chains and pulled the trucks, because of course we can't be under these cranes with the car. So take chains and we moved the trucks to one end and set that end down. Take the chain, bring the trucks back to the other end, set that end down, car's ready to go. They just shove it right back into the shop. Didn't take as long as we thought. Anyway, so the day before I made overtime, 4 hours of overtime. So when we finished that job and it was going to be pretty slow for the rest of the day, I was like, man, it's really nice out.
Yeah. That was the day, because that was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. Monday, you had.
I went out. It was afternoon. It was kind of windy in the morning, and the afternoon was alright. And the same thing supposed to be forecasted for Tuesday, and I wasn't going until later. And then it really calmed down. Just I can paddle out in this, and so I left early, and then halfway out he calls and goes, "I'm coming." I'm like, "Okay, so cool." I just keep on going.
Yeah. So I
get
got
there
there
about when you
were on the 4th one.
Yeah, I was about an hour there. Yeah,
so he was on the 4th one. So anyway, that went on. I didn't catch anything that day.
Yeah.
We'll go into your story.
Did you end up with?
7. But when we get to your story, we'll.
Yeah, but then the next day.
2 days later.
2 days later. Yeah,
I went out with Jay in the boat.
It was Thursday, yeah.
The same spot. It was a little rough in the morning,
The first day you went out and looked for Cobia or something like that, right?
No. That was second.
Okay, right.
Oh no, this morning, man, we were dead set on drum fishing. We went back in the back here and caught a couple of baits. Stopped at the jetty and caught a couple of perch. Couldn't catch a croaker anywhere. Perch.
Yeah.
Jay kept them.
They stay alive in the tank?
Water. Yeah.
Really?
They stay alive real well. They're hardy.
Yeah, it always seem like they die out on me.
Stupid. I hate them. I don't know. They're useless.
They don't seem that
They're
hard.
useless. But so we got out there.
I've caught a drum with it. I'm not sure. I put every
Every kind of fish.
That's legal. I can put on a hook and put it down for a drum. I've done it.
And so we get out there and we start fishing the live baits. We drifted around a few times, got snagged. We didn't have a whole lot of extra sinkers because I forgot my sinkers. So
we're getting snagged on the.
So we started to drift in. The wind was blowing us into the rocks real hard.
If you're going too fast, it's hard to control.
Yeah, we set up. So we set up on anchor.
You can feel bouncing. You can get out or pull up before it snags.
But you don't have
too
enough
fast.
time when you're drifting super fast.
Yeah, so we set up on anchor and started fishing live baits and didn't catch anything for a while. And finally, one of the baits died. Spot. I cut its head off.
Yep.
Put it out there. Of course, that was the first thing we caught a drum on that.
Spot heads.
And then we had a bluefish that we had caught at the jetty, a little tiny one. Mm-hmm. I cut his head off, and now instead of having the spot head, now I had a bluefish head out. We caught a fish on that, so I reeled everything else in and put cut bait on everything. Put cut bait on everything, and we ended up catching one more. Two of them were over 50 inches. These fish are giant, man.
It's killing me, man. I want to.
And this is the same spot we've been fishing out of the kayak. Exact same spot, man. For me, honestly.
Just throw shit.
Yeah, for me, honestly, there's no reason to go anywhere else, and it comes into play for the next day, too. So, we had a great morning. We went out there, sat around, we caught 3 drum. It was fun. I landed 2 of them, and then Jay got the last one.
And he was like, man, again on the small craft advisory, like next day or something like that.
He didn't go the next day. I went the next day when it was windy, but I went in a much bigger boat the next day.
Right.
I rode out with.
You went on Saturday. So you went on Friday. Again.
Friday, and then Jay goes out on Saturday.
Right, when it was real rough. Yeah. And Rogowski.
Yeah,
and Alex
drank a whole bunch of that before, and ended up ralphing everywhere.
Oh really? Damn!
Dude, you didn't see my response to his picture?
Nah.
On Facebook, Billy posted the picture of himself with that drum, and I was like, look a little green there, man. He's like, I may have chummed a couple of them up. Right, I can't do it. Well, dude, and it was rough as shit on ankle anyway. If you're gonna get seasick.
I can imagine
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
So I rode out with it's Stretched Out Sport Fishing on. I'm not sure if he has a Facebook page, but I'm pretty sure I know he has Instagram, and it's Stretched Out Fishing. It's Brian Olzik. He's a buddy of ours from the marina down here, and he's got a 28-foot Master Marine. It's a really cool boat. It's got a 4-cylinder single diesel. It burns very little fuel, comparative to the size of it is. And it handles the seas really well. He's got a big, tall tower on that thing. So we go out the next day. I mean, it's sunny. It's nice. We head out of Rudy. We drive Little Creek. We drive down from the 2nd to the 3rd. Don't see anything on the pilings. Jay and I that afternoon, on Thursday afternoon when we caught the 3 drum, we took off down the bridge after we ran out of cut bait and saw 2 of them. Yeah, we spooked the hell out of them real fast, though. I don't even know how, man. They must have been way out off the piling. Because when we saw them, it looked like they were swimming back towards the piling. But we turned around, they were nowhere to be found. We jigged the piling from far away. Nothing ever popped back up. So they must have been out in front of it, way out in the current. And we, got too close to them, and they just spooked. We saw a pair of small ones, That's all we saw, though.
Yeah.
So that was positive, when you caught that one on Tuesday. That's gonna play into this too.
That's where that's your big story.
That's gonna play into this too. He caught he caught a cobia in the drum spot on Tuesday after I had called the fact that one of us was gonna catch a drum in there on a live bait. It wasn't on a live bait, but a cobia. Yeah, somebody was gonna catch a cobia.
You said this is the time of year that somebody catches a cobia out here drum fishing on live bait.
Yeah.
So you said something in that realm. You definitely said that, and because when I saw it was a cobia, I was like,
right. It just happens, man. They catch them off Seagull this time of year. It's on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That channel runs. I mean that.
So y'all, this is.
So Friday we roll out. We go off the ocean, man. We trolled a plug, a spoon, and a bait on top that kind of looks like a bally. It kind of swims like a ballyhoo. It's a Ron Z lure. They use them up north all the time. My buddy uses them. He throws them like an eel in front of cobia and jigs them like a bucktail. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
Real like a fake eel.
Yeah.
They work awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen the cobias hit them. So we trolled that thing. We didn't ever get any bites on the troll. We saw some awesome explosions. I mean, something would just blow the top up in front of us, and we'd see a king jump.
I was gonna say.
You know what I mean? We would just see stuff. There was acres of bait all over the place. We troll around. They foul up the lure once or twice. You know what I mean? It was just we caught one black tip shark on the troll.
That's it.
And that was it. Nothing all day. We didn't, and of course we're up in the tower going 6 knots in that tower that high with the sun out. We would have seen a cobia for days.
Yeah.
Nothing all day. Nothing on top, man. We could see these schools of menhaden. And you could see them swimming like a foot under the surface, like so far off. Just so that there were ripples, and then you just pay attention in the waves because it was windy.
Yeah.
So it was waves, and you just see thousands of them in a wave. You know what I mean? It was just acres of them, and then you'd run across pods that were smaller, pods that were bigger. I mean, football fields and football fields. out in the CB line off Cape Henry, so not even that far from the beach. It's like 4 miles from the beach there.
Right.
At the CB line's close. Yeah, I mean, it's far for the kayaks, but
Yeah.
we were trolling a drone spoon and one of those there's no reason we shouldn't have caught a drum.
Right.
You know what I mean? Out there around all that bait and everything. Nothing. So, we had talked about it earlier in the day. We actually tried to catch some baits and we caught one. So we had one bait in the live well, and we had snagged a bunker on one of the lures, so we had one of them in the live well too. And we decide, man, we haven't seen anything. It's getting too late to almost see anything. Right. You know what I mean?
It was late.
The marina closes at 6. We want to get the boat out of the water. And 2 of his neighbors, some guys that had helped him out with something or whatever, so he wanted to take him out fishing and catch him a big fish. You know what I mean? It hasn't been hard. It was really fucking hard. We didn't do shit all day. I mean, they had fun with that shark, but it's a shark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a 4-foot blacktip.
Yeah.
And it didn't even jump. It wasn't even cool like a blacktip.
Right.
So.
If it was a spinner or something like that would...
Well, I mean, blacktips jump like spinners. Yeah, blacktip jump and do the flips and shit when you hook them. Yeah, nothing.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing. So we decided we're gonna go try and catch these drum.
Right.
We run up on the way back in. We just run up on a school of menhaden. I throw at them 3 or 4 times with the snag rig, and we throw them in the live well. Get up to the and we're headed back to the bridge. I mean, it is rough. We can make like 14, 15 knots in this big boat. I mean, it's just nasty. So Brian's like, man, what island do you want to go to? We had seen some guys at the Third earlier that day, and I was like, man, everybody was fishing at the Third earlier. I don't fish out there much. Let's go there. And then like 2 or 3 minutes later, I just call up to him in the town. I'm like, you know what, man? The first island's closer to home. We've been catching fish at the first island.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
We might as well go there. I mean, these guys, you know, chances are we're going to catch a drum.
Yeah.
We got these fresh-ass menhaden.
Yep.
Perfect bait.
Yeah.
So we get down there, man, and we set up. And we get set up in a little south of where most of the drum had been from, but only by 20, 30 yards.
Right.
But it's exactly where you hooked that.
Cobia was, I had dropped off.
Yeah, exactly where you hooked that cobia. And these drum will travel
it's the same
for food. Yeah, they're going to travel 10 feet for a bait. Yeah. So, man, especially a cut piece of bunker.
And these big drums here. These little schools. Little
yeah, we had one bait harassed in the first 10 minutes and didn't ever do anything, nothing. I mean, it just thump a few times. And that was it. I reeled it up, and it wasn't even really mauled. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a bluefish. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a little cobia.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Small one.
Because we got to call it in like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, so we can get back to the marina. We just got to get there in time to back the boat in so they can lift it up and set it on the rack. It doesn't even go inside.
You just get out.
Because it's got the giant tower on it. It doesn't even go inside.
Right.
So I go up, and I'm next to the T-top in front of the full tower, peeing. Just standing there on the side of the boat taking a piss. And I'm looking over watching the rods, and the one in the center just bounces. And then it bounces again. And it's the one that a lot of people prefer to fish different ways, and it doesn't matter to me. I'll do, you know. So his preference was to have the reels out of gear. Or not out of gear, but the drag light so the fish could run. So I had one on the back of the boat, and also we didn't hook the first fish on the rod I had with the reels tight, so, you know, no matter what it was. So anyway, I put 2 of the reels out loose so the fish could run. Mm-hmm. His neighbor picks up the rod, man, and he's got it, and he starts doing his thing. And the thing is just constantly taking line and constantly taking line. And, Jesus. Ow. And, so we're like, man, hell yeah. And then Brian's like, dude, if you could catch these guys if you could catch these guys a fish, you've got to be fucking amazing. They are trashed and drunk. They've been drinking all day. Oh yeah, they've never fished for anything big before.
Yeah, no action. So what else are you gonna do?
Homeboy's like, man, I caught a big northern pike up in Canada or some shit like the Great Lakes or something, like 48 inches. I was like, I told him on the way there, I was like, man, if we hook one of these drum, it's going to be the biggest fish you ever caught. Yeah. He's like, I caught a 48-inch northern pike, and I was like, that's a big northern pike, man, but this is going to be the biggest, strongest fish you have ever seen in your entire life. Yeah.
Right, your drum's like this.
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be the biggest, strongest fish.
You guys caught was like
oh
this.
My God. So anyway, this thing is just taking line. I get done peeing, I come around the boat, and I check the reel, and there's no drag. Like, the fish is hooked. It's obvious he's hooked.
Yeah.
It's a circle hook on a bottom rig.
Where did you gut hook it?
No.
Oh wow.
Nope. So anyway, we'll find that out later.
Okay.
So we get this thing, man, and Brian looks out and starts to just rise up.
So is he tightened down at least, or is he...
I tightened down
because he wasn't.
I reached over and just got it set up. So now he's
probably
like
spinning it in circles.
He had just picked it up and just.
Oh yeah. He hadn't messed with it.
So it's just going.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing's at like 75 yards out or so. And he's 75 yards out or so, and Brian sees him come up to the top because he's just sitting on the tower, sitting on the tower seat. Not the tower seat, but the footrest of the tower.
Right.
Just sitting there, and he looks out and he's like, "Oh boy, that I see color. That's a big drum out there, man." And it dives, and then like 2 or 3 minutes later, it comes back up to the boat a little closer, and he's like, "That's not a fucking drum, man. That's a giant cobia. A fucking giant." And I was like, oh my God, really? And then I look at this dude on the rod, and I mean, no disrespect, but these guys don't fish.
Right.
And this is literally, I look up, and I'm like, oh no. Its fins out of the water, and its tail's out of the water, and I know how big it is at this point.
Yeah.
Conservatively, we settled around 70. We knew it was bigger than that.
Right.
So we have got. I knew it was bigger than the 67 pounder.
I like it, the conservative when you see it, because if it breaks off at that point, it's not that big.
Right. This thing was big. Well, it wasn't gonna break off.
Yeah.
I tied everything up, and it was fucking JB braid.
Throw the hook or whatever.
Yeah.
Lose it anyway.
Oh yeah. Yes, I mean, and it's on a lighter rod. These aren't the Cobia rods, man. These aren't those big jigging spinning rods we use for Cobias. These are ugly stick off the back of the boat. Yeah. We were using. I mean, most of the stuff most guys use to troll for Spanish mackerel with, basically. GTI 310 GTI.
Just fishing, just take off.
Oh, it never even got close to the bottom of the spool. There's plenty of line on there. It was 65-pound JB hollow core braid. You can put so much of that shit on a reel.
Okay.
So no, it never even got close to the bottom of the reel. It just fought. And I mean, this thing would just thrust and take line, and we'd get it up, and then all of a sudden it was under the boat the whole time. It never tried to go up front to the anchor. Luckily, the anchor was way off. You know what I mean? The wind had us really a lot where we were in that spot.
Yeah.
Cobia are notorious for doing that.
And they're notorious for trying to get around. I mean, I was at the front. The only time it ever came near the front of the boat, I was up there with the anchor rope in my hand, attaching a buoy.
Right.
There you go. Smart.
You're ready. Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
So anyway, it ended up going right back. We put it right back at the back of the boat, and this thing comes up next to the boat, and I just see it, and at that point, it's really heart racing.
Yeah.
Really heart racing, and
you got to perform. You're gaff.
I've got the gaff in my hand, and Brian comes down out of the tower, and this guy's like, he basically can't do it anymore, man. It's been 15, 16 minutes. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's normal, and a lot of people exaggerate on how long fish fights are. This is a long fucking time. 15 minutes is a long fucking time. Right. I don't fight anything out of my kayak for 15 minutes ever. I don't know that. I never have, because I broke the blue fins off after in 10-minute range or so.
Yeah.
I would have, but I broke the blue fins off in 10 minutes, and I've timed the black fins, and they take 8-9 minutes.
Right.
This thing, it's been 15, 16 minutes or so, and this dude he's like, man, my arm's on fire. Brian's like, you want me to help? The guy's like, yes. At this point, the best thing you guys can do is step back over there. Just stay out of the way.
Yeah.
If you want to see this thing in the boat, stay out of the way.
Yeah.
And Brian will work on it over here. And he got it up next to the boat. Within 10 minutes or so, he got it up right. And it was... I really hate reaching, man. I really hate to reach, because I like to have my momentum coming back to the boat. I've never lost a gaff to a fish.
Yeah, you reach.
And I do not.
If you reach, you're here. You hook here, and this is where all the action's going to happen.
Right.
When you're low, you hook here coming up.
And I prefer to be here when the gaff comes in.
Yeah. Right.
So
rather than way out.
And I mean, I could have hit the fish, and at this point, I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I could have, but. I've never had a gaff snatched out of my hand, and I do not intend on letting that happen, especially on a fish like that.
Yeah.
That's way too dangerous.
Yeah.
So I waited, and the thing dove, and it was probably 7-8 minutes later. So getting close to 30 minutes. I mean, we fought this thing for pretty close to 30 minutes, I'd think. I mean, it's big fish, and we're on anchor.
Yeah.
And all he wants to do is stay down below us. The drag is all the way cinched on the reel. We got nothing to catch a 80, 90 pound fish with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not in that league.
Yeah.
We were really trying to work the hell out of one of these guys on a drum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were really trying to work these guys on a drum at this point. And it came up the second time up next to the boat, man, and I just went right behind her gills, you know, right in the meat section, right above her gut.
Yeah.
You know, and just stung through there, and I got her up, and I had her like halfway into the boat, and I'm just like, grab it! Please. And Brian takes his other hand off the rod. I mean, he's a bigger dude than I am. And he just, dude, this thing hits the deck, and it's as big as we thought it was. It's as big as we thought it was, man. And so at this point, it's like,
What did I measure out to? 80?
it ended up being 80 and a half pounds and 62 inches.
Right.
5'2". It was 5'2" on the thing. Yeah, insane.
Alright, so his deck.
It hits the deck, dude, and I just grabbed the rubber maul. And I've never hit one. I'm not. I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
This was giant.
It was
and
going
it
off?
was going crazy.
Wow.
Just.
Dangerous.
And this one was big enough to hurt you, break your leg.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some UFC shit. This thing would dislocate your knee or
gonna
your
throw a leg
ankle.
kick on you.
Yeah. Oh god. One of the guy reaches down. As soon as he's in the boat, one of the guys goes down there to try and like put his hands on like basically grab the dude. I'm like, fuck, dude, those are spikes. This thing is big. He's got half-inch, 3/4-inch spikes sticking out of the top of his fucking back, over his head. This dude's getting ready to hand clamp.
Straight.
Oh my god, he was getting ready to get fucked up. Like he wasn't. The fish wasn't going to be the only reason we were headed in. He was going to get it. I mean, that's stitches.
Yeah.
Stitches the way he was
might
going.
Might even be reconstructive of how big
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
That big.
Yeah.
They can tear ligaments out of your hand.
So I nailed this thing in the head like 3 times with the rubber mallet, and she's pretty docile at this point.
The head. The pictures on the head.
It's huge, man.
This wide.
Like I said, we should go down there and pull the bag out and measure it just to see how wide the head is, because it's in the bag in the marina down here. I'm sure they don't pick that stuff up that often.
Yeah, it was just, what was it, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
It was yesterday.
Friday, so 2 days ago.
Since then. Yeah. I can just picture that thing so big, the mallet, ting, bouncing off of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just. I mean, you can see in the picture
Yeah, I saw it.
how small a rubber mallet is compared to the head of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
It's the biggest one I've put on the deck.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And good spot.
Yeah,
You know,
good
it
spot.
was not a surprise. It was. I mean, it's a surprise that the fish is that
big it
giant,
was. Yeah.
but it's not. I mean, we just caught one there a few days ago.
Yep.
It was incredible. Like, all day cobia fishing, nothing. Give up cobia fishing and we'll just try and catch a drum. Giant cobia, massive late season 80 pounder.
Yeah.
That could have been any of us.
Yeah.
It could have been any of us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that night, you know, the picture he sends the pictures and tells me about it and stuff. So that night before I'm going to bed, I'm like, scenarios.
Yeah.
Running scenarios. What do I do with it? How would I deal with it? What do I mean, it would just be have to fight it for a long time and hopefully, you know, winch it enough to where, you know, I have it next to the boat and lap it. I mean, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna take my crate off so I can put it in the back of my Ultra. You know, that area back there. But, you know, the Hawaiian guys put 100-pound fish in their laps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm here.
Yeah. Granted, we have
whatever.
I don't know how long a paddle they have. But
Yeah, I know, but
still.
with that, I mean,
you're gonna
you
do it.
sleep tomorrow.
What? Yeah.
with that.
Exactly. Yeah. You're gonna do it.
I'll recover
Make it-
later.
Make it happen. Yep.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That was crazy. How
Yeah,
many
you gotta see
licks?
the comment.
He wants. It says Choi. How many licks in the center of the Tootsie Roll lollipop?
I missed. Remind me that I missed my gum over there.
Oh,
I would mean to spit this up too.
Yeah, I missed.
give it a shot.
There we go.
What do we got? Skills? No skills.
Probably not. Probably stick to my finger.
You gotta
That's awesome.
lick it.
Nice.
With the rug.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
backboard.
I just
got
it's
it.
over there by the DVDs.
Maggie was just over there too.
Yeah.
With the vacuum.
Just remind me
It's
about
still
it.
So yeah, giant. It was. I mean, I've literally been on cloud nine since. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy. That fish was huge.
Yeah, it helped.
It
It was
for
literally
me,
like my spot. It was
relieved me
bait.
because he didn't catch shit on fucking with me that day.
Right.
So I really,
Yeah.
really dealt with a big fish. And, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I caught drum the 2 days later
Yeah.
with Jay too
Yeah.
at the same place. I mean, it was
That's
that was
on a boat.
stupid.
That's.
Well,
but
yeah. I mean,
this is a big fish no matter what.
right.
Yeah.
Giant.
So this is yeah.
I think 80 will make the list of 25 the top
I
25
would
this year.
imagine. I would imagine.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be on the top
Yeah,
25.
yeah.
Got to.
So anyway, well, it's not me on the citation anyway. I didn't reel it in.
Yeah.
But still,
But it was like my
just
spot, our spot. It was awesome.
All that, and you got pictures of it, so it's just amazing to have just to deal with that fish of that size is kind of cool that you got to deal with something like
Yeah.
that live.
Yeah, I mean, I've hooked one. I hooked one on a buoy one day that was that big,
Yeah.
and it lasted like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It was one of those. I flipped the eel up there on a blind cast, and she swam out from behind the buoy at the same time. We had circled the buoy already and didn't see it.
That's it.
I threw up there on a blind cast because we had been catching them under the buoys, and while the eel was in the air, she just popped up, and she grabbed it as soon as I hit the water, and pling, just right under.
I was gonna say,
like
right
straight under the buoy. It broke off on the ledge, probably.
Oh, wow.
She probably didn't even get to the chain. She just took it and went under. Blink. Yeah, I mean, as soon as the reel was in gear, it was broken. But it was a giant. When I saw her come out, I saw her open up and eat it. It was that.
It
It was
probably
that.
was
size
on the
fish.
edge of the buoy then, because
Yeah.
otherwise you'd feel something before.
Oh, yeah, no,
it
it was
on
that.
the chain, yeah.
Yep. Fun.
Hey, I've heard all this. Well, a lot of this story and your earlier Cobia. So on top of all the other things I've wanted to do is like that's like you said. The scenario is going through my mind. It's like this is possible. All sorts of stuff can happen. So I'm getting all excited, and the wind screwed me again.
Yeah, I mean, what would you?
Again.
I just don't even know. It's gonna be like one of those decisions that you're gonna have to make at that time, and you're just gonna have to hope it's the right one because we don't carry. Especially we're drum fishing. We're not carrying gaffs.
Right.
We don't have
No gaffs,
hammers.
no hammers.
We don't have anything.
Granted, there's been times where I've taken hammers out just random because
just
I have a small ball peen hammer.
Right.
I mean,
That little one I was dealing with, I mean, I looked at it and I was like, okay, this thing's done hooked real well. That's why I tried to put it in before it was really
Right.
ready for it. I mean,
Right. But you
I just
need
had the
that boat when
opportunity.
that happens. It's gonna
I
be
saw it.
crazy.
I was like, because the thing had been, I knew it was in the lip. And every time he dove, he was rolling. I was like, oh, fuck.
that's
The
bad.
skin is just twisting and twisting and
yeah.
twisting. I was like, this ain't
It's
going to last too
gonna
long.
fall right out.
So then when I saw he was coming at me, maybe I could kick him in. Might fly out the other side. I mean, I landed
Yeah.
in the boat and maybe some kind of cool chaos will happen.
Yeah, it was.
But it just went pink. But I had him under my leg. I had my leg balanced. And I had his tail.
Yeah.
And it was, woof. I mean, I'll put the video up in a couple days, but it was pretty
From
cool.
the
And this
videos
thing
that
wasn't-
put up on Facebook. It looked like it was.
Yeah.
The giant one wasn't
There.
sharky at all.
Right.
The giant one wasn't sharky at all. That
Right.
thing was planed out the whole time. I mean, he just literally until
Submarine.
we saw that it was a
Right.
cobia, I would have swore it was a drone. It just you'd see
Yeah.
you'd see it just tear its head and then run,
Yeah.
and then he'd fight it back a little bit and then just tear and run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd
Where
feel
was he
just
hooked?
right in the corner of the mouth,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
Just nailed.
Perfect
Owner
circle.
owner
I think
circle
he
hook in
probably
the
held
corner of the
that-
mouth.
He probably held that thing in his mouth for a long time until you came tight on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was probably just holding on until you finally came tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a miracle fish. It's just a miracle.
Yeah.
I don't know how those guys do it every day. Charter. I mean, this guy's he's not a charter, but they took out some guys that never go. It was his neighbors because they were friends and shit, but
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
It's so stressful.
So,
It was
we ought to
really
get,
stressful.
We ought to get Zach in. Zach Bowles.
Yeah.
Get him in
Oh,
for the
yeah,
podcast.
that's right.
He's a friend of mine. So,
Yeah.
he does that for a living, besides working at Tackle Shop every once in a while. But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he tells stories about that. People have no idea, and he's working his ass off. Those mates work their ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Especially.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
basically because that was you in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People who have no idea.
And then I have the biggest one I've got a shot at ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have this to deal with. It's like Austin said when he was in here. He was
Yeah.
like, "Man, a lot of your charters lose a lot of giant fish right near the boat because they think it's over, and it's not over.
It's the hardest.
They stop.
part,
They
actually.
drop the rod because they see somebody make a move, and the fish just shake the hook. Especially the bucktails, man.
Right,
They'll
right.
throw a
Yeah, wait.
bucktail in a heartbeat. That's
Yeah.
gotta keep it tight.
Well, if you don't, because you have weight. So as soon as you
Yep.
come loose on a bucktail, the weight pries the hook out. Yeah. Especially if that bitch comes out of the water, like my flounder today. I jumped on that bitch. So today, when you go to my story.
Yeah.
Now today, saw that you were on fishing where we didn't have the opportunity to get out, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go hit my backyard spot. I want some croaker, right? I kill fish that are, fast growers. Croakers and spot are my favorite ones to kill because there's many of them. They double their population in every 14 months, so that's why there's no limits on them. And we have
You kill roundheads too, don't you?
yeah, but we don't get those that much in these
Yeah, we catch them.
yeah, but they're great taste. And I love that small fish meat. I don't kill big fish, like stripers. I don't even like. But if we catch a 50-pounder and I want to bring that in, that goes in my bag.
I give them away.
Like
I give the big ones away. Stripers are really good at 22 inches.
Yeah,
22 inches.
I don't like
really
big
good.
flaky meat like flounder, like spade fish because that's a white meat. Triggerfish, those are really good.
Trigger's
That's
awesome.
a small, that small flaky meat is like and croaker. So I fry it up, eat my salad. That's how I eat healthy in the summertime.
Yep.
So I'm going out there just for grocery shopping today, basically, just to do some grocery shopping before
A meat
coming
run.
coming to podcast. Nothing, and the water's not muddy. I'm on the outside. The water's not muddy. It's not
all
like
I call is sand perch.
yeah. I caught one of those and we caught one puffer, but it was like one small.
Oh, I
puffer.
caught a tiny puffer at the bridge too.
Yeah.
A tiny puffer.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not
They're
keeping
kinda cool.
one of these. If I was in them, I'd
Yeah.
be all right. But one.
And you can tell when you're in them because you can start
It's not
missing a
solid.
lot unless you start fishing for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And your
Right.
shit is all. I mean, fish bites are bit chunks. It's really hard to take chunks
Well,
out of
also,
fish
I
bites.
always start off with a gulp
Oh,
and
yeah.
a jig on a heavy jig head just for
Remember on
croaker.
Tuesday?
14-inch croaker's gonna hit that. So that's
Remember
what I'm
mine on Tuesday?
What's
My
that?
giant, the 6-inch.
Oh yeah, either puffers or.
A puffer or something, man.
What is it? Yeah, yeah.
It literally
it
at
gets
the,
like
at the top of the 6-inch jig head. Yeah, dude. There's just so I like snatched it
No
from it.
kidding.
Yeah.
It didn't like a big chunk; it took a long chunk.
Yeah, because I was
Like,
poke
it
jigging. You know
dragged.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. And I was on my way in. It was like getting close to
Fucking big this big.
yeah, going after it.
Yeah.
Well, they got them beaks, man. They can.
Well,
I
they
can
can
take
smell
chunks
that
out of
gulp.
out of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and bright green too. They probably like that a lot too. So yeah, I start coming in and I hit this. Lee a couple weeks ago lost that flounder right at these one spot in it's on kind of an area that
Big flounder.
yeah,
too.
it's a big flounder. So I went right there, right the same spot, one cast.
I
and
caught it on my first
no,
cast.
No, I think it was the second cast. I made one cast. It was over here, and there was like, I got to get the piling, underwater piling's over
closer.
here. I'm readjusted, made it. They're facing this way. I put it here and bring it back this way. It gets right under here, and it goes. I don't. I'm going, and I missed it first time. I dropped back down again and went. I don't. And I went. Oh. Because it just bowed up and didn't really go a whole lot. It was like,
Right.
oh man. So reel down and it's like, I think a small flounder. And then
big flounder. When you wait, it's like when they're on the. It's like a suction.
they have suction, but they do this, and their heads come up, and then they bring it back down.
But
again.
the width of the rest
feel
of the
them
body.
do that
they're
when
not,
you
yeah,
lose a
that's
giant
why.
one, too.
Yeah, it's,
That's what you feel when you lose a giant one. As soon as you set the hook, and you're like, "Is that the bottom?" Doink,
Whoa.
and it just drops the hook, and you're like, "Oh, that wasn't the bottom."
Once last year at the first time, and I knew it was a flounder, but it came out. But anyway, finish
Yeah,
your
this
story.
one. Yes, this one. So, as he's coming up, I'm like, getting panicky, heart's beating. Open up my hatch, and my cooler's there. I'm like, shit, you nowhere to land. So I close it back up. And, I'm just gonna sit on it.
Yeah.
So I
Legs
get him
open.
up, and it's boom, bam, hits, and he's going nuts, and it's rod on him. I put the rod on him, like this,
That's your hand.
and then my hands on it, and I can feel the hook hit my arm, like whatever. Whatever.
Going nowhere.
It's soft skin right there. It's just get it. If you're gonna hook me, just get it. Just get it. Bam, bam, bam.
That's
bam,
classic
bam,
flounder.
bam,
Yeah,
bam.
just go bananas.
Yeah, and so then I'm like holding up this ice, and I'm keeping this one because flounder's another fish I like to eat.
Right,
And
it's good,
It's
and
good.
this is
White meat.
this is a big one too.
it's a big one to bite me. And that thing's going to give me my meals all week. That's going to give me my salad meals all week. I mean,
How big was it then?
23.
23.
Yeah, so I'm sticking my fingers in this
This time of
gill,
year.
get my lip gripper, and clamp that thing on
You
there.
got the lip gripper. My flounder technique when I'm keeping them is pin them down with one hand, and then I take the scissors with the other and go right behind the eye through the head. Crunch time.
Yeah, see, I always try to bleed everything.
Oh, yeah,
even
see,
croaker,
dude.
even croaker and spot all bleed.
Flounder freak me out.
Even
Dude. It's like
croaker and
crunch
spot
time. Those things.
Well, with that, I have one of those. I have not the boga grip, but I have the vice grip ones. For
Yeah.
my small. But This
They
is my
call it
Tetra.
fish grips, yeah.
Yeah, this is my Tetra. So I
Yeah,
got the
fish
small,
grips.
Yeah, fish gripper. So I have that one on it, clamped down, and I'm not even holding. I'm not even like letting that go. I'm holding on to it, making sure it's clamped, and so I take pictures of it, and then I bleed it out. And, yeah.
You know, I showed this to Richie a while ago on those fish clamps. You know how I use Velcro for all sorts of shit, man. But it's like it's what they sell it in hardware stores, and you wrap your cables around.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. But I put it on one end of the handle of my fish grip, so when I clamp down on something, you can wrap it, and it's not.
Huh.
And it's got a
Nice.
hole, and it's got a hole at the end, so you can put a little piece of rope.
Nice.
Well, you could also maybe glue it to the handle itself, because it's something you're going to be using for that thing all the time.
No, it stays on. Well, it's got like a little slot, so you wrap it around. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. I know that. Yeah. What I'm saying for the rope is like when you want to keep something in the water and you can just tie it off. It's got the handle's got the hole on it.
Yeah, all of those are attached to my boat. Yeah.
But there's been a couple of times where I put that in the water without the strap around. I was like, man, I can easily come right off.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's why it's always attached.
Yeah.
Whenever
so it's just a neat little idea for people.
Well, especially
because
this is my first one I've ever had, the clamp down one,
Right.
the fish gripper. So that was what I was worried about. That's why.
Yeah, they've always been the trigger action ones.
Yeah.
Like you let it go.
The
and it
boga
got
grip
it.
style ones.
That's you can let it go. I can let that in the
that's
water.
fine.
This one was like if he hits the boat wrong, it might pop
and it
open.
pops open and
so
he's gone. Yeah.
It was white knuckle holding it like this the whole time. I'm taking pictures of it. And even when I bleed it out and let it, in the water, I'm holding it. I don't let it go. But it's a good idea. I have some of those too.
Yeah, they're simple, easy, and they work, and it's not coming off once you wrap it around there.
And that's perfect. So that was before here, and I was stoked about that because I was going grocery shopping and didn't have anything. I was like, oh, going home, I'm not eating salad this week. I can't eat my salad without my fish.
Right.
And this year, I've saved a lot of money just on protein. What I'll usually buy, my proteins will be canned tunas and shit like that. I've saved money on that.
Oh, yeah.
Year, just by keeping for spade fish and croaker, So I'm waiting for this croaker one to start happening too.
Okay.
And I'm going out there and I'm using the croaker that I would eat for the drum. It's like
Yeah, dude, you gotta do it.
like today, before I was trying to get, I had my timing set. For today, I had to load up all my podcast stuff, go fishing, get my fishing stuff together. And the whole time, I'm trying to get my little stuff together. I'm like, all I'm thinking about is jigging big jigs. All I'm thinking about is just bouncing big jigs. I don't know, it takes him all I want to do is be out there and bouncing big jigs.
Yep.
Yeah, I parked behind you. I noticed you took the Tetra out today, so I figured you were in some small water.
Yeah, it was right here. I'm about done with that boat for right now.
Yeah.
It's too small for when it's getting chilly.
Yeah.
Just want to wear any clothes in.
Yeah, well, it's comfortable because it's really wide. It's actually wider than the Trident 13. It's wider right here, but it's small up here. Like today
It's
being
small
Sunday
up
with all
there.
the boat wakes, I was nose diving on everything. But it's such a fast little.
It's a
cool
quick little boat, yeah.
Yeah,
I like
but yeah, I'm about tired of them for the winter and then just start using my 13 out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it sits up a little bit easier, Because
Well,
I'm
it
telling
takes-
you, I bet specs are fucking running soon. I mean, they're catching them at HRBT. They're gotta be moving through here, or at least a wave.
I believe it,
Yeah.
As much north wind as we've had, it just makes sense. That's kind of why I thought maybe in Rudy I'd have more luck with
Have a
stuff.
run.
But
Yep.
I don't
Well, you
know.
also didn't have really good spec gear either.
Well, I mean, even for spot everything,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I think that the timing of this,
How many overall did you catch at Lynnhaven?
like maybe 4 or 5.
Oh, that's it. That's
It
slow.
wasn't much. I mean, I spent a good amount of time
Yeah.
out there, so it's,
That's slow.
yeah.
That's real slow.
Yeah, it's the most I spent on my phone on the water. I hardly ever, like, people text me sometimes when I'm like, I don't care, because I'm always doing something. But I was anchored up and I was sitting there like, there's nothing to do. So,
All right, well, my epic day, and I don't, like I wrote my report this week, I don't really use the word epic.
yeah, a lot of people
Really don't.
use it for so many things, but yeah,
Right,
sometimes it's really, truly worth using.
Let's do the epic days, and it's just a good day. We've had epic days on Eastern Shore where we've caught, it's just a good day. That's a solid, good day. That's the best day of the week, best day of the month, but
Yeah.
epic days are, record breakings and shit like that.
record breaking, and one you're going to be talking about for years and
Yeah,
years and years.
yeah, and because not only did I beat my daily catch record, which was 6, which was not last year, the year before, when I went out there by myself on I went to Eastern Shore and on the spring.
I remember hearing about that.
I went like at 2:00 in the afternoon, just saw a window,
Yep.
fucking ran out there by myself, and that was that first cast thing.
I remember, yep.
It was like timing, all that just was.
It just
in
was
'em.
perfect,
I was just
yeah.
in them. So that was 6 that day, and then I caught 7 on my second day out of here. So that beat that record, and I'm also past my
Your longest.
biggest, right, my 53 incher, right, and I beat my yearly total already.
Oh wow!
So I'm already past what I caught
you
the
ever
year
had?
before.
Wow.
Yeah, well, last year was 21. I'm already at 22 this year.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'm already
And
past
got
that.
all the rest of fall, man.
Oh, the wind's looking like we ain't gonna be able to fish the rest of fall.
Yeah, for all we know.
So yeah, but it looks like we can get out tomorrow. But
If it turns out, later on that they're no longer at the bridge, you still feel like doing, oceanfront?
yeah,
You want to do?
yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, it's just it's weak of me to say it's a road trip, but it's a road trip for me, especially when you sit out here.
To me, dude. Dude, going, that far down though, ocean.
It's an hour. It's over an hour. It's over an hour for you to get to Sandbridge.
Significantly,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Because I have to kind of cross through town, so that's kind of a, I could, it's an hour drive to get to Sandbridge. But yeah, I want to do that. But also, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go to the bridge tomorrow, and then we should be starting to hit the pilings.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Which would be a lot easier, but I don't know if until they're not there. That's when I get skunked there. That's when I'll start hitting the pilings again. But yeah. So the first day I went and Jay was out there. One side was windy on that side, so I was trying to go to the lee side.
Right.
I went over there first just to catch bait. So I found, because I didn't catch any bait on the way out the first day. I went and stopped and I even trolled some spots and just didn't find a whole lot. Went out and found a good school of croaker, like 10 to 12 inch.
Nice,
so
yeah.
Got 4 of those in the live well, and by the time I was on my 4th one, Jay had said that he had caught one. So I was like, fuck, I'll go over there in the wind.
Might as well just go,
Yeah, and the wind wasn't that bad. It was just going to be blowy. I knew what it was.
Right.
You
Well,
see
when
the
you go
pictures.
from the lee side to the other side, there's a big difference.
You gotta suck yourself up.
One side is super comfortable, the other side, even if it's
I'm
not.
dead calm over here, and I gotta psych myself up to turn this corner and go to this other side. But once you're over there, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see in the pictures that it was rough.
Right.
It was rough and cloudy and all that stuff. But yeah, so Jay's anchored up, and he's got boat style going. He's got 4 rods out. He's all that stuff, and so I'm doing a drift. I'm going up, and it's pushed me into the island, so I'm drifting back, and I hit the rocks, and my live bait rod hit the rocks, and I'm not doing the cast. I'm just live baiting, so because I'm trying to paddle.
Right.
And so I come off, and as soon as I come off, basically I hit one. It's one grabs it, and I get that one, and then I do the same thing with another live bait. Right, so that's 2 in a row of just hitting the rocks and coming off, and then there they are. And then the third one, I lose my bait, put another live bait back on, drop it in its mouth.
Wow.
Just
Like
drop
basically
it
as soon
down.
as it's out,
It's
it's
boom, it was off.
Wow.
So then, Jay, I think I had caught 2. I was out of baits. I was going jigging, and then
That's when it starts getting fun.
Yeah, and that is the fun stuff.
Yep.
So that was good that day. And another friend of mine was out there. Wayne Wable, he's a friend of my dad's. He actually, so I kind of grew up knowing this guy. He's when I was a kid, I was a really good marksman. I mean, like
Yeah, you told me about
badass.
that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still good now. When I can go practice, I full on zen out.
Right.
I mean, it's
Feeling it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I place rounds on target. That's what I don't shoot. I place rounds on target. Love that shit. So I was like that when I was a kid. 5 years old, I shoot a buzzard out of the air with a 22. And Wayne Wade was there, so it's kind of cool when I tell that story. And he came in a tackle shop one time and reaffirmed it to all the other guys. And I was like,
it was like that for
yeah. And actually, he even made it was better because I was saying I was 7 years old, and he was like, "No, you were 5 years old." So anyway,
That's my daughter's age right now. Just think about that.
yeah, I was a killer.
Yeah.
I was a killer.
Nasty.
That was a dead
Mrs. Collins.
eye killer.
What'd you
Yeah.
say?
Mrs. Collins. Should have been a hitman.
So the second day, so Wayne's out there. He hooks one, but loses it, and then he hooks like a 24-inch flounder on the big jig. So that's the thing is
That's another fun thing, yeah.
Yeah, you got the
Potential.
big drum jigs, and a
Yep.
giant flounder's
Yeah.
going to hit that.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's what people use. Yeah.
So that was cool. And then the next day I go out and Lee's gonna come. He leaves on his way, and I just go straight jigging. So I jigged first, and boom.
How many did you have that day? First
First day was 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
And broke one off.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. I did break one off. So I had 6 fights. I broke this one off at the boat. I mean, my reel was sticking, and it was on my musky rod. So so when I brought up, I had to let some slack to reel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it got looped and went on their boat and popped it. So it was.
Yeah, the tip wrapping.
And I didn't even see it because it was like it was happening, and he went on their boat, and I was like, "Is it loose? Bam! No, it's not." It was like guessing game.
You'll know pretty quick.
It was fast. Yeah, he lunged and it popped, and that was it. 65 pound leader just break like that when it's up against a hard, edge.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. So yeah, I forgot. I did forget. I forgot. I don't even think I wrote about that one. I forgot about that one. So I fought 6 that day.
I fighted.
And that's when I'm tired of using my musky rod for that shit too. So I'm all boat rods now, even with my jigging rod.
Really?
Yeah. Musky rod. The handle's not big enough. My hands get tired.
Fish are deep,
yeah.
man.
And they're deep in their head. Yeah. Yeah, and they're all.
Yeah, I remember when I fought mine off of Sandbridge. It was
Yeah.
I
So
remember
and plus my boat rod, I can get more torque and get faster rides.
really yank on.
As soon as they lunge and my boat just starts skipping, man. I just love that ride, and I even like it better than a jigging rod because the jigging has too much action.
Is it?
Comes back to the it bends all the way back. This is fast action right there. All the power's right here.
Yeah.
It just torques, man. Beautiful. But so I put that rod back and I tied my other rod, and so then the next day. There's more flounder boats out there. So that was kind of the funniest thing was that day is everybody catch flounder fishing, and then we're hooking up, and when I'm hook up, and then when he's coming up, he's like
These old people are like up next to him, and I'm like hollering at him. And they're like, he got a flounder? And I just looked at him, I was like,
I'm getting yanked all around.
I'm like, that's not going to be a flounder.
Heavy ass rod, just yanked. I mean, yanked.
That's not going to be a flounder. I was like, and they had just caught a croaker, it was hanging on her hook still.
Yeah, I landed.
I was like, that croaker that you got on your hook right there, put it on a bigger hook and...
Yeah, she's holding it like this on hook, and it's like, put that down.
Big hook on the bottom.
What?
The next day, when I went with Jay, he caught 2 on jigs.
Who? That same old guy?
Yep, the same old guy.
With that?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the same. He was out there the next day with his old lady the next day.
Any beefier tackle, or is he?
He still had his 30-pound test line and the same rod he was using, but he had his big. No, it was the Tiger Lights or something.
Okay.
Ugly stick style.
Yeah.
And the big gulp jigs like you were using. And he caught 2. I watched him catch 2.
That's nice. That's nice. That's cool because they're
gave him the net for the first one.
Flounder and croaker, and all of a sudden you get one of these things. Like, he hooked him up with
He went fishing for him. I mean, he saw that and he went fishing for him.
One thing the boats out there, they need to revive those fish because it's hard for. I mean, it's hard. These fish are bloated when they come up.
Yeah. This guy didn't.
All of them.
And this thing swam away instantly.
Okay, good.
It was amazing.
Good.
It was incredible. This thing went in the water, and I was like,
maybe because it's such a slow fight. With that lighter tackle, maybe it's.
I thought the thing was going to be dead. I thought the thing was going to be dead from fighting for so long.
Yeah. Maybe it's such a lighter fight,
It literally at one point it was like on top, like I'm done, and they're like, dude was just pulling, and the drag coming off his reel. I was like, drive to it and see it. You can see it. Go get it.
I mean, drifting too, right?
Yeah. I just looked at him. I was like, go get it. It's right there.
He's trying to throw it against the wind and current.
The current is sideways, trying to die.
But you do gotta revive that. I remember it's the first time I had to do it because the ones I caught on Eastern Shore it's shallow, so you don't have to do that.
Right.
But it was my only bridge red at night. And it took like 20 minutes to actually get it to finally go down again.
I got the system now, man. Totally got the system. You gotta have a boat grip for one. You gotta have a boat grip. No matter dealing with big fish now, you gotta have one of these because that's the way to revive them. Right. And okay, so I get land them, boom, unhook them, measure them, boat grip on in the water.
In the water.
I mean, it's like that. I don't even take pictures, nothing. Then set up the cameras. Person set up whatever.
In the water, doing his thing, and then
shoot your shots. But I don't put them in the water every time when I'm doing my camera.
Right,
He's out of the water fast. Bam, boom, boom.
Right.
Put it back in the water, and then I'm paddling. I start paddling, and not paddling with them upside down.
Right, you got to make sure you see.
One arm paddling or Hobie, whatever. One arm paddling
or Hobieing,
or
you can Hobie.
And you got to turn because if you have him on the bottom lip, he's going to roll up like this. You actually have to muscle him and hold him right.
That's sometimes why I like the fish grips better because it doesn't spin. Because my boga grips, it'll spin with it.
Oh, so mine doesn't.
Do you have an actual boga grip?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's super nice.
That's good for it.
I love it. But that's what I'm saying. That's why my Velcro on the handle actually it's
because mine doesn't spin. Right, and that was one thing that was about the Cobia. I was like, if I try to put my bow grip on this Cobia,
He's gonna
do
do
this.
this.
I don't have one of those. I need one of those for a Cobia situation.
Yeah,
but
the fish grips for sure.
Because Reds don't do that as much.
No, they don't.
I mean, Cobia's gonna fucking roll like a gator. So yeah. So but I'm holding it and paddling, and I tell you that works because it's something about the balance.
Yeah, they're upright.
I think when they're laying on the side, I mean, there's gravity on them.
There's
There's gravity on them. They can still feel gravity.
Yeah.
So
Disoriented.
it's so you put them upright and get them paddling, and fuck, dude, every time they kick off, sweet. I mean, it's beautiful. That works so well because some of these boaters, you're trying to revive them, but they're holding them upside down or holding them in the net, and it's not.
Or just by the tail, and it doesn't do it.
Yeah. So that's totally.
If you're on anchor in a boat, face them into the current.
Into the current.
Don't
yes.
face them against the current. Face them into the current.
don't
Hold them
tail,
upright,
yeah.
man, and it'll.
As long as they're upright and just moving, I think they got it. I think they're good.
Around the island, there's not much current, so that's why we paddle.
Yeah.
And you're not on anchor, but if you're on anchor in the current, you could just hold them.
And that's what I would do when I was anchoring on the shoals.
Yeah.
Upright. I learned that too. Upright is the deal. So yeah. All right. So that was yeah. And then that Cobia. That was ridiculous.
Oh, well, I mean, you caught several.
Yeah.
From
Got 7. Yeah.
personal best.
Yeah. Personal best biggest one. I was telling him when you went upstairs. Personal biggest one. Best day. I beat my 6 record of over 40s.
Got 7 now.
7 now, and I'm already past my yearly.
I was
record.
literally cheering for you to go to 10.
Yeah, I know that.
I was like, after I was furious, because literally I was furious, and maybe not for good reason at the time, but by the end of the day, there was plenty good reason for me to be furious.
Yeah, right.
Like literally, I was
I
10
was-
feet from him all fucking day, and I didn't get a bite. I did not get a single
same spots, same
bite.
baits.
When he was jigging, I was jigging. When he was fishing live bait, I was fishing live bait. And every 2 seconds, his shit would just bend the fuck over.
There's just no freaking right.
There's no-
reason to
no.
it. Some-
Right.
if
It's that
whatever
fucking
the-
hippie mojo
you
shit
call- I
he's
was
got
gonna say,
going
like,
on. Whatever the
mojo,
fuck
man.
he's got.
That's the whole thing.
He's still got a fucking hippie mojo shit. I don't know.
You're a couple years ago. I started that when we were going out. We was filming for the DVD, and we had to get stripers on the drift. We had to get it. You know, I was just like, so I literally sat there and like prayed to fucking Neptune.
Please.
Like, please just give me a fucking shot. I don't care if you give me just give me a shot at 'em.
Something.
Just put me in the area. Put them in my area. You know, I mean, I prayed to fucking Neptune, and ever since I was like, okay. But now, one thing I've always have every time I sit in a boat I've been paddling for 14 years now. Every day I sit even on tours. Every day I sit in a boat, I have a relief feeling like you would when you come home from a hard day of boots on and you take your boots off.
Right.
That feeling is what I get every time I sit my butt in a boat. It's a release of gravity.
Right.
You know what I mean? From literal and figurative, right? It's a release of gravity. So since that. I've always felt that, but now I will sit there and go, take my time, I'll breathe it. I'll sit there, just enjoy this moment for a second because we gotta go to work.
I used to do a lot of. I mean, not exactly like that, but like usually after like my first 5 or 6 strokes, I usually just kind of like look up, and I just be like, yeah,
right,
and then go.
Yeah, and that's when I kind of scoot off and just, First, just this moment, and then So it's always been there, but now I'm like intentionally.
Video is off just now, but the audio is still working.
We still got it. It's on the resetter, maybe. You know.
Shout out to my buddy Billy Nykar. He's from Green Top. He's watching. He's a good guy. He just bought an Ultra not too long ago. You know, he's getting into it.
It's a sweet boat.
Yeah. He needs to get out more. He's having a hard time.
It's a heavy boat.
It's a heavy boat. Well, he's got a little baby too, and he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. Check out Green Top sometime if you're up in Richmond.
Yep. But yeah,
It's an awesome
and on
shot,
the
too.
finishing up on hippie mojo shit. I'm also thanking the fights now. Actually, like I sit there and go, thank you for your fight.
Thank you, appreciate it. It's kind of like when the bass guys do that. I mean, like, thank you, like you almost kiss them.
Yep.
And
you know. I make the intention.
Saw that.
Appreciate
like I said, I mean, and it was so fun. That Cobia was
it's also a love for those fish. I mean,
right.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
I there's some, all that, and at the same time, I feel a connection to him. I kind of like Ray Al Brunel does.
Right.
He because he grew up with it. He's got actual red drum in his
blood because
That was cool, dude.
yeah. So I mean, I kind of have that feeling because I've obsessed about them so much. I can feel them. Like I almost like
They're
understand
part of it.
what they are. I mean, I've seen them so much.
It was him.
Seen them so much in their reactions and how they, in the shallow water being the sidecast to them. I feel like I understand. Like when they're down there, I can kind of see them down there. When they're around, I just know. Once I come around, I just know they're around. So that's the hit mojo shit.
Yeah. We got a question about out there. Will they hit the she dogs or other topwater baits? I don't know.
We're in almost
I don't know because it's
50
40
foot of water,
some feet
whatever.
of water, man.
We went back to our usual
maybe
spot.
at
We were
night-
like, damn, this is shallow.
Maybe at night.
25 feet of water, shallow as
Compared to
shit.
Maybe at night, if against the rocks,
Right,
maybe they
maybe
move up
right-
against the rocks at night.
It's
I don't know.
Think about that.
It's a
But I don't
possibility,
know.
dude.
You know what I mean?
Possibility.
But I don't know because it would really depend on. I think it has a lot to do with what that bait's doing around that island at the time.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean,
And like I said,
you get the big ass stripers up against there in the wintertime, and especially at night, the guys with the plugs go out there.
Yeah, so
not
I don't
out
know
of-
if it's the
not
same
out of-
thing.
Out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, because they'll hit the striper or the reds will obviously hit plugs in the spring because we're in 5 foot of water.
And we've caught them at the jetties, real close up on the rocks late in the evenings
Yeah.
and stuff too.
Yeah, like up in the rocks, like
up
yeah.
in the rocks and the jetties.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
it's possible, but I don't know. And I'm not going out there in the middle of the night in my kayak to find out.
And I'm not gonna. I've got a jig and I can catch a
I'll be
live
honest.
bait.
When you sent the text, I sent one back and said, "Well, I'm gonna look for a window at night to go because I was actually gonna go try
I
it."
was thinking that last night.
I was
like,
oh, last night would have been.
I was thinking that last night. I was like, oh fuck, but I get so I'm fucking old as fuck, and I get tired. And when I go fishing HRBT, as soon as the sun sets, I'm like, oh, I'm tired. It's not like I'm scared of night. I'm just like getting tired already.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I would have. Damn, I thought about that. I went to Joe Messina's going away, and that was
Yeah.
cool. I had a good time there.
oh god, you didn't get like too fucked up because I was like,
I'm pretty alright nowadays.
Max was asking about the rods we used for the jig and for the red drum, but you went over that pretty much.
yeah, I'm using a
Yeah.
Saltus boat rod, and then my live bait rod. I'm using a Rampage.
Yeah, we're not, and
jig
like I
rod.
said, we've said this several times before. Kevin and I are not tackle whores. We
It doesn't
do
have-
not buy the highest, and like I
Right.
just it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
not that necessary,
I'll be
and I don't have the
honest,
money for it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I do have the expendable income, I will spend something on something nicer. But you don't need to. You don't.
not necessary.
You absolutely don't need to.
Under $100 rods and $200
$100 to $200 reels,
Yeah.
depending.
Yeah.
The reels I catch these cobias on all summer and cast from the boats. It's $119, and it's lasted 4 years. I've been having my inshore reels. I did have a Corrado that I need to get some work done on now. But
Dude, I got
that
Apollo
thing's
reels.
lasted. That thing's lasted like 6 years now.
Well, all my low profile reels and all of my reels are going to get worked on in the winter.
Right.
As soon as winter comes, I got to do. Yeah, because my low profiles go first, right? So I got Sitka, Lexus. I got
Right.
a pile of they're starting to pile up of. But I won't need them too much more past this, and
I don't know, man. There's one. You'll just need one.
We got
one or
specs.
two because
I need two for the spec for the fall run for inshore.
And then you got to keep one all winter because it worked last year.
Tog and which one? The one that fell apart on me?
No, the one you were catching little reds on in fucking January and February.
At least one that's
Little reds on January and February. Sight fishing like
video
it's
was ridiculous.
sight fishing like it's goddamn April. Stupid.
Speaking of that,
Things
that
everywhere.
area, the guy with the Moken on the springtime, we saw him out there busting his ass all year. He's found that area, and
Has he caught anything?
Yes,
Did
he
he
caught
catch a-
30-inch reds just.
Did he
last
catch a
week.
big red this spring? Did you
No,
ask him?
No.
No.
But these 30s,
Damn.
he cited these 30s though. He cited
Good.
these 30s. He got his
Nice.
action.
I don't know.
He got some fucking serious action.
He was
Good for him.
literally
Good for
a
him.
lot of times I saw him. He was
He was
literally
there.
bass fishing for the bull reds this spring.
Yeah.
He was like fishing points and stuff. And you know as well as I do, they're not related to anything in there
It's around.
at all.
It's
It's
roll
just
around.
they
They're
swimming.
come through that
The
area.
bait moves through there. They move through there.
I mean, the
crabs
perfect
bury
example,
and unbury
perfect
themselves.
example is that the four fish
Yeah.
kayaks. We're just talking and paddling.
Oh.
And there they are. Boom, here it goes.
Literally, 2 guys had just paddled right through there going the other way, and those are the guys that are in the video. I'm like, those guys are oblivious to what's going to happening. They had just paddled past us. And then also, the day that Marty Mood and Richie and all those guys were out there.
Yeah, just past just past the area that the fish came in.
They paddled away, we paddled there, and me and Kevin and Alex busted them up for a little while.
Yeah.
But then any given day, it could have been vice versa too.
Right.
That's
crazy.
For whatever reason, you could have been like 50 yards off this way, and somebody was going right here.
And that's the toughest part about being 3 foot above the water or 5 foot above the water, standing up. I mean, it's really you have this channel, and
that's it.
Yep.
And I try to zigzag when I'm doing that. I try to do all that shit, and that's why trolling rod out while we're sight casting is always
until
good.
it's so bad.
At any
The
point,
race,
dude,
yeah.
you should have zigged instead of zag. It's like any time.
Dude, what the worst thing for me is, what about if they're right behind me or I'm right behind them?
Yeah.
Like they're moving this way, I'm moving this way. I'm just not ever gonna fucking see them that day.
because you're here and they're here all day.
It's not the zigzag, because I feel it's I'm just missing them like this. They're like, and I'm not. Yeah.
That's why it's nice to have go with a bunch of buddies.
Yeah.
So you spread out and have radios and have a good time.
Yep. And knowing what they smell like.
Yeah.
Dude, I was smelling I don't know if it's specks. I'm thinking it's specks because there's little bits of slicks, small slicks. They smell like menhaden.
I still got fishing in there.
Yeah, I think that's why.
I seen your boy fishing in there the other day on somebody else's rig. So he probably like caught 3 or 4 of his limits on his own rig already and just moved on to another boat.
5 this year, 1 under,
one over.
One over.
You can only keep 1 over per trip, so he's gonna have to go back to the dock a lot more. My man's gonna waste a lot more fuel speckled trout fishing than he did last year. I'm convinced, dude, they like to keep 15.
Yeah.
So he's gonna fucking literally, and it's a shame, but he's literally gonna drive in and out of that fucking inlet all day, killing trout. If they're the same ones they were last year, he's gonna drive in and out all day killing giant fucking trout.
Yep.
And is amazed when he watches one let me go.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you do that?
Because they're gross.
Right. What the fuck do I want a 26-inch trout for? 27-inch trout? No thanks.
Gross ass.
And this is not up in the river. These are clean. These things just came out of the ocean.
Oh yeah,
they're
they're
beautiful. They're yellow. They're silver and black spots. I mean, gorgeous speckled trout. I want nothing to do with it. I mean, I'll keep one 18 inches and put it on a hoagie roll every now and then. Other than that,
when I early on when I first started catching them, I was like trying to keep it. I was like,
somebody asks me and says they want to fry some up, I'll be like, man, I'll bring some fish sandwiches over.
I think the last trout that I kept was like a 14. I gave to my dad when we were fishing at the HRBT. Like a great trout, it was a 14-incher, and it was like that was.
Great trout are better to eat than speckled trout.
It tastes the same. It tastes the same to me. I don't see any difference between those. You can put both of them together and mix them up.
Mix them up.
Loose ass, mushy ass potato meat.
Right.
Mashed potato meat.
Fried hard, lots of hot sauce on a sub roll. There's a fried hard, lots of hot sauce on a sub roll.
Yeah, fried with the hot sauce. It can be whatever.
I like frying though. I do like frying though.
I want a fucking red, man.
Yeah, me too.
That's killing me.
Yeah, me too.
You just talked about the 80-pound Cobia, man. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah, but he needs one.
Fuck all y'all.
He needs one. Kayak. And I tell you, that island spot's so much easier. Yeah. I mean, I like a piling
That's why
fight.
I want to go, man.
Yeah.
That's why I've been dying to do it.
And it's the whole time they're pilings, though. It's the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's what Rick and I were talking about this morning. All we need to do is just get to that one spot that we like, and
yeah, but it's fucking rough.
It was It was retarded.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I don't catch them out there, I'm gonna start catching pilings. I'm gonna start fishing the pilings.
Right.
Yeah.
It's worth the paddle right now.
Yeah, and especially like tomorrow. Like today would have been, if this afternoon probably would have hit the pilings. Because we had that really short window. It was a fucking really short window this afternoon.
Right.
It's probably blowing right now. But like tomorrow's a little bit bigger one. I'm gonna fish until dark. I'm trying to see if you want to come out and talk. See if you can get out there.
I'll see.
Yeah. I'm gonna try noonish.
The guy asked.
I might do
Oh yeah, we got questions. Let's get quick. You gonna do a sick day?
I might, dude. Because
As long as it's still, check it again. Make sure the weather's still the same. The shit might have changed from an hour ago.
Yeah.
Just got a Trident 13, wants to fish the bay or the ocean very soon. When you hear you talk about the wind and wind direction and safe for kayaking, explain. Look at where the land is and look at where the wind's coming from. If it's over 10 miles an hour,
It's a bad idea.
If it's over 10,
you don't want to be anywhere out in the
coming
open.
from the open water section, then no, it's not worth it.
If you're in the lakes or up in the inlets and there's trees around and you've got coves around and it's not super wide open, you can take 10 to 15 miles an hour, take yourself an anchor sometimes.
And as long as you can get to a safety area.
Yeah.
The open water, it takes you longer to get to a safety area. So
Yeah.
that's this time out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go in open water when it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stubborn and I do it sometimes, but I
Well,
pay for it too. Well, I mean, like I said, the last 3 times I went for sheep's head, I mean, I spent the time to get all the way out there, and I couldn't. There was no line control. I could barely keep my kayak.
Well,
in
fishing
place
at
at all.
pilings, it's like calm.
exponential.
You need calm, man. It's so hard to rodeo fish pilings.
I've done a little bit of it, and it's hard as shit.
Especially, I mean, spade fishing is not so bad because you don't have to be so exact.
Yeah, but when you're on the bottom and you're trying to,
Bottom or suspended or
anything like that.
Tog or sheepshead fishing, you really have to be calm. But yeah, I for me it's like open water under 10 or under. Inside the inlets depends on where the wind's coming from. 15. If I really want to fish that day, I really don't like wind. Wind has kicked my ass too many times where it's broken me on tours before. Where I freaked out about it, So I don't even like because when it gets in my ears, that's when it starts to irritate me. My ears cup out. Like radars. So all
That's all I have to hear.
That's all I hear all day long. So it drives me nuts. And I hate getting pushed around by the wind too.
yeah, it's just insanely frustrating.
Yeah. Almost as much as I hate getting spun around by boat wakes.
Wind is.
Boat wakes is just a nuisance.
Yeah.
You can be having a good
It's
drift.
man-made or something like that.
Yeah.
but- So that's what's
You're
irritating.
casting over here, and here comes a boat wake this way, and it goes. It spins you around by the time the cycle comes through. Like fuck.
That's literally like 3 hours.
Yeah. See.
It's
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
It's back up over 10 knots.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
showed
blowing
that.
out of the south right now, so you get a good ride to the island.
Well, that's what tomorrow. It's gonna be a shitty ride out, but when winds do come out, it's coming out north again, so it pushes back.
So we'll switch on.
Yeah, so I'm bringing nighttime stuff just in case you can fish until dark or into it. I'm feeling kind of
My
bad.
chest is a little
Yeah,
tight.
I've got just be cold sickness. Just be bay cold sickness.
I do got a lot of shit to take care of. So, and I got kids. I mean, I can't leave it on Jenny all the time. So I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming. I knew, like over the years when I've pushed myself so hard, and you know.
Oh, you would have to
made
take.
my like
yeah.
and then I knew eventually I just wasn't gonna be able to do it as much anymore.
Yeah.
Here I am now.
They get older and they pay attention more, and you got to pay more attention to them. And I mean, there's a lot of shit to it.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing.
I feel like I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I want that red though.
But you'll get the shots.
Yeah.
You get the shots. I mean,
Shot
you
for
fish a
a
tournament.
month.
I am gonna fish a tournament. I'm fishing, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. But
That's right. We'll wait for the weather.
Yeah, I mean,
it's purely.
Go catch
weather
23-inch flounder, or freaking we can beat each other for
If
reds.
there's a chance of the reds, that's where I'm going.
I'm hoping it's
That would be awesome because we
kind of hoping a
because
guy
we've talked about this for years, and every year.
Oh, yeah, every
every
year.
fucking
Every year. And this year, I don't have any vacation next year because I promised to take Maggie. I got to go to New York with Maggie, and I promised to do some other stuff with her. But I plan to take off every year if it's right.
Yeah.
And it's never fucking
Right now, is it
right.
looking northeast
Ever.
at 10:15 for Saturday?
Probably.
Yeah, it's northeast all week. That's all I saw. But
I don't
yeah,
think Saturday is up yet, is it?
yeah.
27th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't trust that shit. From
I know. I
hate
hate
it. But
8, 9, 12.
might as well throw 15 in there.
Problem
Gonna be
is,
about 30
problem
by
is
then.
out there, it's the paddling back for the tournament. You gotta be back by
Yeah.
4.
Something like that, and that's another reason why
Well,
going
the
to
wind's out of
Stanford
the
is
north,
hard.
it'll beat you
Oh,
back.
that'd be fine. But yeah. It means you gotta start coming back it.
Yeah, but-
That means I gotta wake up early as fuck.
He's like, I got that part.
Is it a launch or a is it a launch time or lines in time?
Yes.
Launch time.
Oh, it's launched.
That's what I thought.
6. Or
It's
or,
yeah, you can't because every time
You gotta have a date. You have the picture of
Yeah,
your
of
launch
you
at
at the-
daytime
yeah.
or daylight or
whatever.
First
yeah,
light or
there's-
whatever it is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be your first picture on your
I
flash.
can't wake up that early anyway, man.
I'll see you out there.
You can do it. I get up that early every fucking morning.
I mean, I'll wake up at 6, but I'm not ready to do anything at 6.
I'm almost at work at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got kids. That's the one.
You got kids jumping on your head.
They wake me up.
2:30 if they want.
Well, cool. We're gonna do a podcast Friday.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. Yeah, next week should be really fucking cool.
Yeah. So Friday night. The problem is I don't get off work till 6, so we're gonna have to do it kind of. It's probably gonna be
What time is the captain's meeting?
It's at 6 or 7, I think. So I
Something
mean,
like
I'm gonna have to do it afterwards, but everybody's gonna try to get out of there. So I'm gonna try to kind of do it. Maybe I want to do it before. But I'm not gonna be able to get off work in time. But we'll try to do one Friday. Definitely gonna be doing one Saturday. I'll get there because that's a long period of time.
There it is.
And depending on how much we have, it'll either be 1 or 2 episodes, I guess.
Yeah. And so we'll have guys coming in and out and all that stuff. It might be kind of chaotic, but that's what I'm trying to do.
That'll be
Luther
fun.
gonna be
though.
there?
that's what I want to do. Is
Luther
like,
gonna be there?
yeah, hopefully I have Luther. We're definitely have
Good.
Luther on.
We gotta have Luther on.
Whoever's there,
We've
who's
had
big.
Bryant.
Yeah.
We've had Brian, Vincent.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just try to cycle people
Yeah,
in for an
yeah,
hour or
yeah,
two,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is. Yeah, that's what I want to try
What'd
to
you
do.
do today? And
Yeah,
this and that. And
yeah, at the end of the tournament, and
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah. So I thought of that idea. And with you three, with us three, when the DVD comes out, we're gonna go to Appomattox, have a DVD viewing.
Right.
But I want to do a podcast on us
Talking about
as a
what's going-
DVD
Yeah,
commentary, so you
that'd
can
be
actually.
cool.
You watch the podcast, okay, we're starting a video now, and you watch the movie, watch the DVD, listen
Purchase
to our,
the DVD and then put the podcast on, and then you
and then
can
we
see
have
what we
DVD
took-
commentary.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that would be a good idea, and that's coming up soon. Because this week you'll finish up the
I
artwork,
finished today. I just gotta put it in the template.
templates. I gotta pay for it, send it off. I send it off tomorrow. I'll overnight it, so they'll start processing. I should be able to have pre-sales up and the trailer up this week, and the pre-sales should be starting up, and then hopefully within a couple weeks it'll be back, and pre-sale guys will get their first copies out before it hit the stores.
It was fun putting that the cover together.
Yeah, it's good.
I went
Not
back-
hard work. I mean, you see how little. I'm
It
just
makes
little
sense.
bits.
That's I mean, as an artist, it's your creative product. That's what you need to be
Yeah.
doing. That's why
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to give you all
Oh,
these
yeah.
different
Yeah.
versions of it, so you can pick one.
And I have to sit through and I have to go,
Yeah.
watch it again, and go look at it again. This little piece right here.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Shit, I went through and took out 2 clicks audio wise.
Oh, you're talking about yeah.
You know how my cameras, they go clicks? You hear it sometimes in videos, they'll make a click. It's like the camera moving. It's something in the housing moving. And it's loud as fuck. It peaks out. I was I watched review and I saw it. I was like, I have to fix those
I
clips.
must
I went through and it's a split
It's
second.
a sliver of
I cut that out, take the split seconds before it, and paste it over there, and it's
Yeah.
erased. But no one ever noticed it was even there. But
It's your creative product. You got to make it the way you want. But
Yeah.
otherwise, you're gonna feel like shit.
so the copies you have has the click.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'll never hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to give you guys copies before. So
Nice.
So when it comes out, you can already have your ideas up, because there's like the very beginning, like the intro stuff. I mean, there's the flashes of you and me. There's like joke shit all behind like the split seconds. Like you putting on the sunscreen is when you had sunscreen disaster in your bag. Remember that day? There's a piece of ship dropping on my
Nice.
Yeah, we were fucking around with that shit that day. I had the piece drop on mine.
Yeah.
I fucking around with the piece drop on mine, and then Kevin's like,
we're bored as fucking just like poking at fucking ships and big bam.
The hell
It's
y'all
like that.
thinking, man? That's crazy.
stupid, man.
Oh my god.
Just stupid, having fun.
Yeah.
So that's one of those. Is my like real quick intro goes ba 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 bow, but
Ah.
it's like ba 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 bow. It's like one flash of that.
Cool,
yeah, and
cool,
then
cool.
you doing this is that sunscreen incident where he's put some sunscreen on and like dumped it and went all everywhere in his bag, inside his bag. So he's like smearing sunscreen on. And the whole thing was he was just talking shit about me. So it's funny. It's during the whole at the intro with the talk thing. Sorry, I'm talking about the movie. It hasn't been out yet.
All right.
Yeah.
Right in time?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't
You
ever
said
have to go.
Doesn't have. Yeah.
Or we have to go under, or we don't have to go over. We don't have to whatever. But yeah,
I
we're
gotta
good.
go get my kids.
Man's got to get his kids and get back to Richmond.
Yeah.
Richmond. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, I
My
gotta
parents
go.
are wondering like, what the hell?
Not watching.
No, they're watching probably Frozen or something on
That's right.
with the kids.
All right. Cool. All right. Yak Attack, yakattack.us, Rob Choi at angling-addict.com, angling-addict.com, and we'll see you this week at the TKA tournament. Friday night captain's meeting, Saturday. Go to tka.org.
No longer Lee at his house.
Yeah, we're gonna do an on location.
It'll be
deal.
Lee at some other spot. I don't even know where the hell it is right now. I haven't even looked to see what hotel it's at.
Yeah, it's right. It's at Lake Wright.
Lake Wright,
It's
okay.
Lake Wright.
That's
Yeah.
really close.
So we're gonna have it all. We're gonna have it all set it up, and we'll do the podcast from there, and hopefully you come by and say hi.
Yeah,
And we'll see you
talk to
later.
a lot of you.
So,
Yep.
good times.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, it'd be awesome to have people come in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be fine.